Are you ready to uncover the stories behind the sport?
I never wanted to be a coach.
Get up close and personal with the biggest names in Namibian sport on the playbook.
You build your character and you look at yourself and say, but this is not the end.
From their humble beginnings to their greatest triumphs,
I enjoy driving.
we bring you the stories that inspire and the moments that define their legacies.
You sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, exactly what I want to do. You know?
That's great.
Don't miss the in-depth interviews, exclusive insights, and captivating journeys every week on the playbook, where sports meets storytelling.
Good afternoon to the Junior Africa Cup. It's game 16. Am I live? Good afternoon and welcome to the Junior Africa Cup. It's the final day with a lot of exciting games lined up for us. Today we have Egypt versus Kenya playing for pride and country. But not only that, but especially for the third place to the Junior World Cup in December. My name is Robin Kambinda. I'll be your commentator for the game. They're about to start with the national anthem, so I think we should cut to them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, not only for pride and country, but for the third spot to the Junior World Cup as well. We have Kenya playing in white and black today, and Egypt playing in full red. It's match 16 of the Junior Africa World Cup men's fixture. Today I'm joined by my co-commentator.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am your co-commentator, Watapi Virore, and I'm very excited to be here. It's definitely about to be a very exciting match. Robin, what do you think?
I think this is going to be one of those games to remember from the tournament, from the whole tournament. Both teams are eager. Egypt just narrowly winning against Zimbabwe, and Kenya just narrowly losing against South Africa last night.
Yeah.
It just shows how eager that both teams are to fight and how relentless the game is going to be. Just waiting for the teams to call the huddles. I think this is the last time they have anything to say to each other before they get on the pitch. It's going to be a very close call. I think it's going to be a tight match. Yeah, I think both teams are equally matched.
Yeah, 100%. Both of these teams, each of them want to qualify for that opportunity to go play for the Olympics. So most definitely there will be some sweat, blood and tears poured into this game.
Will the Maasai Warriors beat the Egyptian Pharaohs? I think this one is going to be too close to call. But yeah, I think we're about to start off with the game. Who do you think is a player to watch from Kenya?
From Kenya?
I think the number 13 that scored the goal against South Africa last night.
Yeah. Who do you think is a key player from Egypt?
From Egypt, I don't remember his name, but the one who scored the short corner against Kenya in the last game.
I think that was
Zimbabwe.
Ahmed. This one.
Number 9.
Number 9, yes.
El Hadi Ahmed.
Yeah, Ahmed. I feel like Egypt has a lot of good players because there are two of their players that are in their men's national senior team, and one of them, I think the captain, has already played what is this, the indoor World Cup as well. So they do kind of have experience on their side, but you never know really with these with hockey, because you never know, maybe Egypt is desperate to win it.
And just like that, we started our game off. Kenya versus Egypt. It's the first quarter. And just to add on to your point, Egypt has a lot to prove today, seeing as they won the last Junior Africa Cup that was held in Windhoek in 2015. They beat SA in the finals at showdowns. But now they are playing Kenya for third place. So they also have a lot to prove because they need that spot to the World Cup. But Kenya as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, no team wants to travel all that way and return home with nothing.
We are off to an aggressive start here. Kenya just moving the ball around.
Yeah.
I think the Kenyans have become very confident at the back. They are very composed.
Yeah, and you can see now they're having that full quarter press, putting the Egyptians under pressure.
Our umpires for the game today are Lowe Bren, Calder Peter from Zimbabwe, Calder Peter from SA. Our reserve umpire is Siabonga Martins from Namibia.
So, so I am the lead commentator for the game. I am Watapi Virore, and Robin is now my co-commentator. So yeah.
Egypt just confidently taking their free hit now. Kamal Said, the captain.
Now we see Egypt in the 23 of the Kenyans. But
Kenya still tough on their defense.
they really are.
Kenya just pushing the ball out there. Egypt still relentless nonetheless.
That's what Egypt is really good at, putting the players in the 23 under pressure, and then that's where they get like those like silly little mistakes, and then they have like now the short corner opportunities to capitalize from.
Unfortunate ball out there. gives a chance to Kenya to regroup and try and work on their attack.
Egyptian press, you can see that they're really pressing there.
Coming for it. We have a beautiful day at the Dave and Esther Hockey Field with temperatures only at 27 degrees, but the real field shade is 25 degrees. It doesn't look like it's going to rain much today, but the humidity is at 26%. So it just, anything can happen in terms of the weather. But nonetheless, I think we'll be playing most of our games with no showers to interrupt. Strong whistle from the umpire.
Now Egypt with an opportunity to just reshuffle the field, just get its players into positions. Unfortunately, turnover there. Now Kenya has possession.
Kenyans trying again. Not giving up. Great overhead into space. Unfortunately, just missing the player there.
I feel like a lot is at stake and the nerves right now are still very up in the air. So the boys haven't really found their composure yet. As we know, Egyptian boys really know how to find each other, but they still haven't found the rhythm yet. So hopefully as the game progresses and the tempo just decreases, now they just find their flow from both teams.
I think they're not over eager yet. They're just trying to test the water. But they've entered the circle now. Let's see what they can do. Save from the goalkeeper. Kenya
still there on the defense. They're not letting Egypt have it easily, as we can see there, ladies and gentlemen.
3D skills from the Kenyans.
Umpire there with a hard whistle. Beautiful overhead there by the Kenyan defender.
Egyptian ball.
It's just a lot of back and forth here between the players. Not much is really going on.
Kenyans just trying to open up, close up the Egyptians, I'm sorry. Stick tackle there from the Kenyans.
The Egyptians are again in the 23 of the, unfortunately, that ends into a 16 for the Kenyans.
Timo, captain for this game, number 25.
Big slap there by the captain.
I think so far both teams seem to look evenly matched. They're not trying to assert too much pressure, but they're still trying to keep the back as tight as possible.
Yeah. Egypt doing very well. They're trying to open up the field, let the ball do the work for it as they play the ball back.
But nonetheless, the Kenyans putting pressure, trying to keep them at bay from their half.
Egyptian ball there.
It would be interesting for Kenya to go to the Junior Africa Cup. I'm not sure if they've been there before, but I know Egypt has been there countless times.
I think it's very important for the Egyptians to win because they are the champions, the last champions that we've had, and for them to be now fighting for third position is quite the spectacle. So they definitely want to qualify, but obviously Kenya also would be a very good thing for them to qualify as well, because they would be representing the country on a very high scale and putting their country on a map.
Yes, indeed. And by the way, they've played this whole tournament. They've been playing well enough. This has been some world-class hockey played here by all the teams that partook. Peter Calder just blowing his whistle loud there. I wonder what the infringement was.
Egypt with a very high press there.
There's a lot of passing going on in this game. No one is over eager. But Egypt has had more circle penetrations compared to
Kenya, yes.
yeah.
Kenya now has ball possession. Can they do much? Still Kenyan ball. Now Kenya with a chance to penetrate, and beautifully defended there by the Egyptian. Found a foot foul there, regaining the Egyptians' ball possession, just giving them time to reset.
It's some solid defending from the Egyptians. They're setting up their players so well in the circle, not leaving much room for the Kenyans to run into space. Kenya, they're composed. The captain.
Unfortunately,
Dangerous
due
ball.
to the amount of pressure that those Egyptians are giving that captain, there was honestly really a slim chance that he was going to get away with that ball there.
You are watching the Junior Africa Cup, third and fourth playoff between Kenya in white and black versus Egypt in full red. With less than 5 minutes left to play. It's a tight game. Both teams are still testing the water, but it looks like it's going to be, it might easily go into the second quarter with a goalless. It might enter goalless into the second quarter.
Yeah. We haven't really seen any, we've only seen just less than 3 shots on target or attempts at shot even from both of these teams. Definitely a much calmer game than we've seen. As you can see there by the stats, Egypt has 1 shot on target. They have 2 circle penetration, as Kenya only has, it doesn't even have any. Egypt,
The ball position for Egypt is 54% and Kenya is at 46%. It doesn't feel like it's, with 0 penalty corner so far, it doesn't feel like the ball possession is as high as it is for Egypt. It feels like it's 50-50, but unfortunately numbers don't lie.
yeah, they really don't.
So another free hit for Kenya. Goalkeeper just chilling in the box, waiting.
I feel like there has been a tremendous display of skills from all the goalkeepers from all the teams. It's really good to see that coaches really put time into training goalkeepers, as they've shown really amazing talent.
Overhead there from the Kenya, intercepted by the Egyptians. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But at this level of playing, you definitely have to prepare a goalkeeper as well. Both goalkeepers, indeed. you should be ready to switch goalkeepers at any minute without doubting the second choice.
Yeah.
Because games like this become very intense and quite heavy on the first choice goalkeeper alone.
Yeah.
Egypt just dropping a little bit deeper into their half. Create option and space. Are they going to do something? About to enter the circle now. Defense from Kenya.
Yeah, the Kenyan defense is rock solid. They're standing there. They're brick. Beautiful skill there by number 8 of Egypt, Ahmed.
With less than 2 minutes to go, it really seems like we're going into a goalless first chaka here. But both teams seem to be starting to pick up the tempo now. I think they want to be the first one to score
Yeah.
the opening goal.
It gives you a certain boost of confidence,
Indeed.
that first goal. Now Egypt on the counter-attack. Kenya still there, hounding them.
Kenya has been doing a lot of in-your-face defending in this game, not giving the Egyptians too much space to move in their circle, or in their half for that matter.
There.
Tassel there.
Kenya now, Kenya's ball. Kenyan player just scanning the field to see for the best possible pass.
I think they're just trying to run down the clock now. With less than 30 seconds of the official clock. I think they're just trying to run the clock down now.
Give them opportunity to rest a little, regroup.
Lots of tension on the field.
It's very shocking that we haven't seen any penalty corners in this first chaka.
Just like that, we finished our first chaka. Yeah, it's interesting to see no penalty corners. But I think at this point, both teams are trying to make as few mistakes as possible, especially in the circle. I think
Yeah.
both coaches had very great talks, pep talks with both teams.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Junior Africa Cup. If you've just joined us, the score between Egypt and Kenya is at a goalless 0-0 first quarter. Very intense, very interesting. Lots of composure held by both teams.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the first quarter, we started to see them both picking up the tempo.
Yeah, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget that both of these teams are playing for the opportunity for the third place to qualify for the Junior Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget that. Do not move from your seats. As you can see from the highlights, it was quite an interesting game.
Great skills there from the Egyptian team. The highlights just show us a lot of the great moments that both teams had to display their skills. We're about to start with the second chaka now. Egypt just coming off a hot team talk with their coach, as well as Kenya, who are playing in black and white today. Both teams are both eager to enter the World Cup team, but unfortunately, only one team can make it to the World Cup after this match. So who's going to decide it for them?
Yeah, hopefully goals are going to start now flowing from both these teams. Yeah.
It's Kenya's ball. We're just waiting for the umpire. And there we go. There's the whistle to blow up our second quarter of the game. Egypt 0, Kenya 0. And both teams now still holding composure. Kenya already with an overhead.
Unfortunately, it's a turnover for the Egyptians. Now Egypt now on the counter-attack.
Egypt entering the circle now, just opening up.
Oh. Unfortunately, the ball just goes a little bit too wide. But beautiful skill there by the Egyptians, beautiful teamwork. As we said, both of these teams have a good way of finding each other, finding each other's key players, and hopefully goals can start flying in now.
I think the game has just started to open up now, with Egypt already trying to take a shot on goal within the opening seconds of the second chaka. Kenya seem to be trying to slow it down, but I don't think it's up to them to decide alone.
Yeah.
Great overhead again, unfortunately just out of the field.
Now the Egyptians reshuffling the field, giving them time, space.
I think they're just scanning the field to see where the gaps are.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the overheads are very... We've had a lot of overheads in this tournament, but most of them have been quite effective. Unfortunate stick tackle there by the Kenyans, giving the captain, Kamal, another chance to pass the ball around with his teammates. Egypt just trying to get to the circle now. Can they enter? They're in now. Can they do something?
Unfortunately, it was just a foul right outside the circle.
Long corner for
it's a long
Egypt.
corner.
Egypt trying again. They're in the circle now. Can they do something with it?
Kenyan defense again. Unfortunately, just clearing it a bit close to the...
I think Kenyan defense is the type of defense you need for if you own a diamond company. They've been doing such a great job this game so far. Egypt again, unrelentless with their pursuit.
They really are. They're pressing. But as you can see, the man-to-man marking from Kenya is not giving the Egyptians any opportunity to do anything.
Short corner there. Unfortunately for Kenyan defense, he just pushed this Egyptian player off of his feet there.
A bit too physical, just a tad bit too physical. Can Egypt give us the opening goal of this game?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching this tournament, you know that short corners can make or break a game. And Egypt won their last game just from the last short corner that they scored.
With just 1 second on the clock also. So
Yes. So they are not a team for you to underestimate during this part of the game.
especially if players like Ahmed or Saeed are taking them.
Let's see who takes it.
Beautifully deflected there.
Great variation, but unfortunately, just like we said, the Kenyan defense are working overtime today. It's more like a defensive, offensive game going on today.
And it's a 16 now for Zimbabwe, for Kenya.
But they're going to feel the pressure for as long as they play a more defensive than an offensive game. Because the Egypts know that once you can hit the wall a few times, you just need a few times to break that wall down.
100%. Egypt in the 23 of the Kenyans now. Another circle entry.
What happens here now?
Kenyan defense still on them.
Barely missing the box
just a
there.
bit too wide.
Peter Calder, a great experienced South African umpire. The game is just starting to kick off, it feels.
Yeah. I feel like Kenya needs to start start setting up a bit faster.
Strong whistle there. Stick tackles. Seems like a card for Fouda Ahmed of Egypt.
Kenya now with the ball.
They have the advantage now. Egypt with only 10 minutes on the field.
This is the chance that they need now. Beautiful slap
pass.
there across the field. Unfortunately intercepted by the Egyptian captain. Kenya still with the ball. Kenya taking its sweet, precious time just to look for those pinpoint pockets where they can penetrate that ball through to their players.
It's one thing to have your opponents have one player sent off. It's a different story to be prepared for that scenario. And it doesn't seem like Kenya has any plans on doing anything with the player off.
I feel like they should now try and use this to the opportunity, try and force the Egyptians into their half. Okay, there we see an overhead. Fortunately.
Into a crowded area. The tempo just steadily be dropping there. I think both teams are trying to be take over control of the game and the tempo.
Egypt now with the overhead. Beautifully picked up there by Bas. Unfortunately, a bit bodying there from both players. Giving possession to Kenya.
The crowd unhappy with the umpire's decision there, but unfortunately the umpire is the only official on the field, or part of the only officials allowed on the field.
Beautiful interception there by the Egyptian player. Oh, unfortunately he fumbles and falls. Giving Kenya an opportunity now in the 23 of the Egyptians. Can something come out of it? Egypt regaining possession. Oh, beautiful skill there by the Egyptians.
Egypt going on the attack. Great tackle there. Kenyans not losing their steam. Egypt.
Beautifully there now. Egypt on the counter attack.
Can they change the game now? What a chance for the Egyptian.
And it's a goal! Wow. What a... It's really funny how the game can quickly change. Like literally just here. The ball was just here. Oh, and there's confirmation on the field. The green card was given to the
Egyptians just taking a bow to celebrate. It's a very great goal. I think the Kenyan defense started slipping there. They were getting overconfident by the fact that they had more players on the field compared to the Egyptians. But just like I said earlier on, it's one thing to have your opponent have a player sent off. It's a different story to have a plan for when that actually happens in the game.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like the Kenyans had a plan whatsoever. And unfortunately for them, Egyptians scored with one player shot.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Junior Africa Cup. It's the third and fourth playoff between Egypt in red and Kenya in white. The score is 1 for Egypt, 1-0 for Egypt. With less than 5 minutes to go before halftime. The score could either increase or stay the same, but because the tempo has definitely been going up and down this whole game.
Yeah, but I feel now the Egyptians are now more hungry and the Kenyans are now more wary of the situation. Now they know, like, okay, we need to wake up. Okay. So definitely now you can see all the boys now trying to... Kenya now unfortunately they fumbled that ball.
They didn't quite connect with the passes. The Egyptians have smelled blood, and I think they're gonna go for more.
As you said, you can hit a brick wall only a few times and
it will definitely collapse eventually. There we go, 3 shots on targets by the Egyptians compared to 0 by the Kenyans. 9 circle penetrations by the Egyptians compared to 0 by the Kenyans, as well as 60% ball possession by the Egyptians compared to the Kenyans. And with only 1 short corner awarded in this game, it's no surprise that there's no short corner goals. But the possession actually shows how the game has turned around within Egypt's favor.
Yeah, as you said that now the Kenyans are now playing a more defensive game rather than an attacking game, and the Egyptians are definitely taking advantage of that. As you can see here, they are on the counter attack yet again.
Long corner.
Yeah, it's a long corner now.
I think the Kenyans underestimated the speed of the Egyptians because they are quite fast with the counter attack as well as the circle penetrations. What can they do here now? 3D skills again.
Skill there.
Umpire says play on.
Beautifully defended there by number 6 of Kenya, Brian.
The Egyptians know they can do a lot with a short corner. I think they were trying to look for the feet.
Yeah. I feel like they have that mindset of a short corner is a goal. So
is this a chance for Kenya to counter-attack? Unfortunately, the pressure looks like it's... call it too soon.
Egyptians now overturning, and they seem to be making beautiful save there by the goalkeeper.
The Egyptians are hungry for more goals.
And they keep on capitalizing on these small Kenyan mistakes. Now Kenya there with a chance to reset.
Just moving the ball around, and unfortunately an interception by the Egyptians. Going back into the circle.
Can they get a goal? And it's another short corner. Wow. I feel like the Egyptians now, honestly, that goal has given them a boost of confidence, and now they're more hungry. They know exactly what they want, and they are gunning for it.
I think the first quarter gave them enough insight into what to do and figure out what their plan was for the rest of the game. And I think they figured it out.
Yeah.
It's all up to Kenya now to show us if they also have a plan.
And I feel like they also got a little motivation from their coach. Definitely a bit motivating. So, can the Kenyans...
The captain pushing the ball out there.
Beautifully defended there by that postman.
Off the line defending there. Very, very tough ball to defend for anyone in that on that side of the post. Not too many people can stop that ball.
He said not today. Not today, Egypt, not in my house. Beautifully defended there. Now Kenya with a chance to reset. I feel like if they could just now reset very quickly and just try and get their players as fast as they can into the 23 of the Egyptians, something could happen.
Yeah, but the Egyptians have packed the whole field tight. The Kenyans are trying to go through the middle, but unfortunately that's not a path that the Egyptians are willing to let them go through. That's why they're trying so many of the overheads and still landing within crowded spaces. So it's quite difficult to break through to where the Egyptian goalkeeper is at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's been tested so far in this game.
No, as the stat shows that there hasn't been a Kenyan circle penetration. And there we have our first one. Egyptian defended that
almost looked like a foot there.
Yeah, I thought so too, but...
They're in again. Let's see.
Kenya still with ball possession, just reshuffling the field quickly. Playing the ball down the middle. Unfortunately, the ball just a bit too fast for that Kenyan player.
The way the Egyptians are set up, there's no way you can go through the middle.
Yeah.
And the sides are also very far to reach, and you have to be very fast.
Yeah.
Egyptians just trying to switch the game there. Still holding composure with less than 3 minutes to go, less than 2 minutes to go.
Beautiful ball there, intercepted, well intercepted there by that, by the number 17 of Kenya. Kenya still with ball possession.
3D
Beautiful skill
skills.
there.
I think the Kenyans have lots of confidence. I think they know they are evenly matched. Is this another attempt?
Unfortunately, the ball didn't travel
I
far.
think the Kenyans are overdoing the overheads too much now.
Yeah.
It's not working in their. It's not been working in their favor.
With just 1 minute now, I feel like the Egyptians now realize that, okay, let's just relax a little.
At this point, you don't want to do too much because you are still in the lead, but the game can flip in
Yeah,
any
you
second.
can't play too safe. Captain there with the ball.
So much composure from the Egyptians. They realize that they are in control of this game.
Yeah, they are.
Great long pass there. Another long pass.
Oh,
Sure.
beautiful.
Short corner.
And this is one thing that the Kenyans need to be aware of. The Egyptians can so quickly get a short corner in the last minute. It's something that happened in the game that they played yesterday.
Zimbabwe.
They literally got a short corner in their last second. These boys are really good at picking out like mistakes that the opponent teams could possibly make. So it's something they need to be aware of.
And what the Kenyans are doing now is that they are more defending in the circle than defending in the rest of the field. Because those passes were too straight
Yeah,
to have entered the circle in the manner that it did.
a lot of ball watching also.
Yes.
Hopefully, the goalkeeper can manage to keep the ball out. Another short corner.
Just below the knee.
And I feel like they could also do a better job at trying to get out really quicker, because that ball travels really quick. So,
Let's see now. Oh, it's not a goal. I think it hit the Egyptian player's foot. Let's just see.
ladies and gentlemen, with just under 20 seconds in this game, the score still remains Egypt 1 and Kenya 0. There we see the Kenyans are in this Egyptian circle. Can something come of it? Unfortunately, not in this chaka.
Just like that, we've made it to halftime of this game 16. The playoffs, third and fourth place between Egypt and Kenya. Egypt and Kenya. It's a tight game.
Yeah. I feel like both of these teams, they know what is at stake and they know the magnitude qualifying to the Olympics carries. This could potentially put like hockey for their country, individual countries on the map. So they all know like what's at stake. I feel like Kenya just now needs to start playing their own game and not the Egyptian game. They need to move in the field a bit faster. But I feel overall the defense is solid, just a bit of ball watching.
But
What do you think,
There's
Robert?
been some great display of skills here from the Kenyans with the 3D skills. They've also been throwing great overheads. Unfortunately for them, the overheads would not reach their players in open zones.
Yeah.
But the Egyptians nonetheless were very relentless with their attack.
Yeah.
They didn't hold back. They kept their foot on the throttle. The Kenyans did so well in the circle defense.
Yeah.
But on the field, the Egyptians dominated because the Kenyans could not reach the Egyptian circle.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had shots on target or any shots yet from the Kenyans.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Great pass there. the goalkeeper going down just a little bit too early.
It deflected off the goalkeeper's stick also, so just
But nonetheless, he did a good job defending or keeping out a lot of those shots from the Egyptians.
there we see the replay of the strong, solid, a display of the strong, solid Kenyan defense there by that baseline defense.
Watching Frederick.
I definitely feel like Kenya can do something else to try and get through to the Egyptian circle.
The Kenyans basically just need to do a lot of passing on the field. They should have more confidence in their teammates
Yeah,
without having to throw every ball as an overhead. And I think the Egyptians displayed that very, very greatly. And
Yeah.
the possession also speaks for that. If it's 61% versus 39%, that shows you that the passing was going well for the Egyptians compared to the Kenyans.
yeah,
They had 4 penalty corners versus the Kenyans who only had 0. Simply again because the overheads couldn't reach the circle
Yeah.
quick enough.
and if the overheads are not working, maybe they must now find another way, because they were working yesterday for South Africa, but they are not proving profitable now against the Egyptians. So I feel like if they find another way, they will most definitely be able. They do have the potential to get into the Egyptian circle. So maybe, hopefully, their coach can get them to a level whereby they can, they now understand like what to do, because the score is still 1-0, and a lot can happen in two chuckers.
Yes.
The game can definitely change. It's definitely still any man's game. They can still qualify. Kenya can still qualify.
It just shows you how important it is to prepare your team for the next game, and that the previous game is dead and gone.
Yeah, definitely.
The Egyptians did their research in terms of the overheads. I'm not sure the Kenyans were expecting that.
Yeah.
But again, it's halftime now. We'll see what the coaches say to their players, and then we'll see how the second half goes from here on out. Don't forget, you are watching the Junior Africa Cup live, coming to you live on NBC Sport, as well as on the Africa Hockey page.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Welcome back to this live broadcast of the Junior Africa Cup men's third playoff between Egypt and Kenya. We just come back from our first half. The teams have had some encouraging talks with their coaches. The field has been watered, so there's no reason for why this game shouldn't be an exciting. The rest of this half shouldn't be an exciting half for everyone watching this game. My name is Robin Kambinda, and I'm joined by my co-commentator. We call her Dynamite. And we've just like that, we've also kicked off with the second half of this game. It's a very crucial game, seeing as the winner of this game gets to go to the World Cup in India, the Junior World Cup in India, where only 3 African teams will be playing. And at this moment, it looks like a game in Egypt's hands. Another turnover from the Kenyans there. We had an exciting first half. Started off a bit slow, but the Egyptians picked up the tempo once they came back from the first quarter team talk. They figured out a plan and they executed and they got 1 goal. But now this is the second half. All bets are off. Basically 0-0 again from scratch. Can the Kenyans come back? It seems like we have another card for number 9 of Egypt. Is that the yellow or green card? I was not sure. Kenyans now looking much more confident than they did in the first half. The Egyptians there, fully composed, feeling no pressure at all.
Yeah.
What do you think the Egyptian coach told his players during the halftime?
Definitely that they need to win. Definitely that they need to win.
Oh, green card there from El Hadi Ahmed. For El Hadi Ahmed, I think it was a stick tackle, a very serious stick tackle.
I think that's his second card for the game as well. Kenya now with another chance to capitalize as Egypt is 1 man down again. I feel like now Kenya has now gotten a bit more confidence. As you see now, they're on the counter attack, looking for a circle entry. Beautiful skill they displayed to get a foot foul.
Unfortunately for Niram there. Muder Nirman. Just an unfortunate fumble of the ball there. But it was a great attempt nonetheless.
Yeah, beautiful beautiful runs there by the Kenyan players. Doing a good job finding each other.
But the Egyptians don't seem to be feeling the pressure since they scored their goal with only 10 men on the field. But I wonder if the Kenyans have a better plan now.
Yeah.
Stick stuck on the pens.
I think the umpire didn't see the first one.
But it happens. The stick is a hook.
Yeah.
Or has a hook, so it happens quite often.
Yeah.
It didn't seem deliberate to me. Egyptians pressing high, nonetheless, regardless of whether they're 1 man down. But one thing about the Kenyans, they definitely have endurance because they've been running this whole game. Turnover.
Kenya there. Kenya now with the ball. Overhead there by the Kenyan. Picked up there.
I think the Kenyans are sticking to their game plan, throwing overheads. But it's costing them quite a few counter-attacks.
Beautiful skill there.
Great tackle there by the Kenyans. I almost thought it was a stick tackle.
Yeah, same.
Goalkeeper Odinjo in the box for Kenya. He's been doing quite well in this tournament, keeping his team in the game. I think him and a few of his other teammates are the reasons why they are playing the playoffs now.
Yeah. Beautiful pass there. Beautiful skill there by number 18 of Kenya. Unfortunately, the defense of Egypt still a massive roadblock for the Kenyans. Now, beautiful backstep, beautiful save by the
Goalkeeper.
Now we see Kenya now. The counter attack intercepted there by the Egyptian player.
The Egyptians are hungry with only 10 men on the field. But just like I said, it's 0-0 basically now. Because the score is too close to call.
Yeah.
It could go either way still with so much time left to go.
I feel like now Kenya is also using as
Great
much
control
opportunities
from the
as-
captain.
Yeah. Captain Saeed is he's quite the player. Very composed. Beautiful skill there.
I think the Egypt are just trying to show their dominance on the field now by opening up the game, moving the Kenyan defense around just to create those gaps for those long passes to come through.
Yeah. Still Egypt ball. Beautiful skill there. Backstick.
Backstick save.
Beautiful save. I feel like the Kenyan goalkeeper has been well tested this game, and he has showed great skill, keeping composure.
And he's quite agile, I must say.
Kenya now there with an overhead. Unfortunately,
Another one of those overheads that hasn't worked for them. I think the coach should think of a different tactic. Because at the moment, it's just counter-attack for Kenya after counter-attack. Every time they throw the ball overhead.
ooh, beautiful interception there by Kenya.
Kenyan player just forgetting there to play the whistle. The Egyptians in control of the game, passing the ball around with no pressure whatsoever.
It seems like everywhere you go, you just find a Egyptian player.
A red shirt. Yes, I agree with you. A little bit of a scuffle there. Okay, but now they're in the circle now. I think they're going to try and attempt another penetration, and then we see what they do with it. Great long passes, quick passes. Kenyan ball there.
As you can see, the Kenyan defense is fighting tooth and nail to keep those Egyptians out of their circle. Really good, doing a good job there. Overhead there by the Kenyans.
Are the Egyptians back to number, I wonder? I didn't see the player run back on the field. It seems they are. It seems they are.
Egypt, they're just trying to reset the field, reshuffle it.
Lots of confrontations going on the field now. The pressure and intensity has definitely gone up.
Egyptian player just playing it a bit too wide for his player. Beautiful interceptions also there by the Kenyan players. Now we have the umpire there just trying to calm the Kenyan players.
The Egyptians are still doing a high press. Oh,
what a
close.
beautiful ball there by the captain.
I think some mistake most high forwards make is to not anticipate the ball reaching them.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is to always stay ready for that ball, regardless of how far the ball is.
Yeah, move with the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is the match for the third place qualifying to the Junior Olympics. As it stands right now, we have Egypt 1 and Kenya 0, but we all know that it's any man's game.
Indeed. With less than 5 minutes to go, it can still change.
Yeah,
5
a lot
minutes
can
to the
happen.
third quarter. We didn't anticipate the Egyptian goal, but it happened quite brilliantly.
As we see now, Kenya has definitely started bringing the game to Egypt. They are now definitely trying to force the ball into the Egyptian half. Definitely, whatever the coach had said to them in the halftime break is working. Just hope they can capitalize from that. Now we see Egypt on the counter
Egypt with the
attack.
passes just connecting into the circle now. Defense from great clearance there from the Kenyan player. So much composure. So much composure, feeling no pressure at all.
Beautiful.
And just like that, he wins the duel.
Number 5 of Kenya, Samuel. Beautifully played, number 5.
The Kenyans now are starting to get their own. Again, another overhead. And it's quite an intense game here. Egypt seems to be pulling their foot off the pedal, but Kenya is just running.
Oh, well stolen, swiftly stolen by the Kenyan player there. But yet again, Egypt remains to obtain ball possession again.
Egypt still trying to chip at the ice. Backstick pass. Can they do something? Players pointing shorty there. Umpires didn't see it. Hard scuffle. Can Kenya do something now? Another counter attack for Egypt.
Egypt just reshuffling the field.
Just scanning, pre-scan, what they call it. Mistrap there by Mohab.
Now, Kenyan ball.
It's less than 2 minutes to go of the third quarter of the Junior Africa Cup, third and fourth playoff. So far, it's been a matched third quarter so far. Both teams look equally matched, both attacking equally, both defending equally. But unfortunately, Egypt has the lead at the moment. It all depends on how hungry Kenya is to get back into the game.
Beautiful skill they displayed by. Unfortunately, turnover now for Kenya. Kenya definitely now more eager, looking more hungry to get into the circle of the Egyptians.
Great attack there. Can they do something? Long corner. Still an impressive save, even though it wasn't
really
necessary.
good.
Yeah, but yeah.
Good to see that the Egyptian goalkeeper is still on his toes.
Great chap. Egypt just defending tightly, keeping the ball out of the circle, making sure that Kenya does not enter their house.
Kenya still there, trying to get circle penetration. But as you see, the numbers.
Unfortunately, just off the field now. 16 now. But Kenya, nonetheless, picking up that intensity.
Definitely.
Egypt still holding composure, scanning the field, trying to find another red shirt as far as possible. But the connections with the Egyptians are so perfect now.
It's like they're in sync.
It's like every pass touches another stick.
Beautiful.
Kenya now, 20 seconds to go. Can they do something? Can they do something? Attacking the baseline now. They just entered the circle. And like that, it's a foul. So umpire calls a short corner with less than 8 seconds to go in the third quarter.
This is really now the chance that Kenya has. Honestly, the umpire says his decision stands, and
let's see, can Kenya get back into the game?
as you can see, the crowd is going wild. Kenyan supporters are obviously happy with the umpire's decision.
Can they get back into the game to increase their chances of making it to the Junior Africa, to the Junior World Cup in India in December? Great run with the ball, but it doesn't look like a short corner. I think he stepped on the ball. Save from the goalie.
Beautiful
The Kenyan
save.
players calling P-stroke. I think it touched the body. It's a stroke. Ladies and gentlemen, the game has just intensified now with the stroke that the Egyptians are disputing.
The Egyptian players are most definitely not happy with the umpire's decision. They were not happy with the short corner. Now they are most definitely not happy with this P-stroke. Now Kenya definitely has a chance to get back into this match. Will this be the equalizing?
I think it can easily be so. But you don't have any clue as to how this game is gonna go at all, because we started off with a very slow first quarter.
Yeah.
But now the game has intensified. I think both teams went into the locker rooms, having deep talks with their coaches, realizing how crucial it is to win this game. It's not just an ordinary playoff, but it's the playoff to get you to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Gives you another chance to prove yourself, to prove that you didn't make it there by accident, but because of all your hard work and determination to get there.
Now,
Mistake.
beautiful goal there by the Kenyan captain. Very well composed. He knew where he was going. He knew that it was already a goal, and that is the equalizing goal for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen.
In the last 8 seconds of the game, in the last 8 seconds of the third quarter.
Beautiful goal there.
Just like that, Kenya has made it back into the game. It's again a stalemate. We have reached 1-1. Egypt 1, Kenya 1. And it's the end of the third quarter. Can Kenya beat Egypt? Can Egypt beat Kenya? It still remains to be seen with the last quarter of this game.
And now I feel like now we understand. Now all the boys now understand the magnitude of this game. They all know. They all want to qualify. They all want a chance to go shine for the World Cup. So for the Junior World Cup. So yeah, it's intense now.
The Kenyan spectators very happy with their team. They've been singing throughout the whole game. Now they've just found another reason to sing even louder.
Yeah.
With a chance to go to the third, to win the third spot to the World Cup. Lots of attempts there by the Kenyans, but the Egyptians were very hard on their defense.
Yeah.
Unfortunate mishap there. But Kenya didn't take their foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
I think they were hungry regardless of how disciplined the Egyptians were in their formation as well as with their interceptions.
Yeah. Beautiful hockey that is being played here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that we are live at the Devon Trusco Fund. So
It's a bit unclear to see what caused the
penalty
stroke.
stroke, yeah.
But I'm sure we'll look at the highlights again after this game. We're kicking off with the final quarter. The last chance for both teams to redeem themselves. The score is 1-1 in the Junior Africa Cup men's fixture, the third and fourth playoff to the Junior World Cup in India in December of 2025. Egypt attacking again, already in the circle. That was a short corner. It has to be a short corner because it dove right in front of the ball.
Breakdown of play, definitely. The Egyptians just fighting tooth and nail for that short corner.
Less than 20 seconds into the game and they found the short corner. A lot of pressure on the goalkeeper's shoulder now. Can he keep Kenya in the game, or is this the part when the fight starts all over again?
Well, so far the goalkeeper and the defense have managed to keep the balls out. So hopefully they can still keep that as it is and keep the score as it is. But you never know with these Egyptians. They're really good when it comes to the short corners. Maybe they can make something happen and put themselves in the lead again.
The captain pushing it out there with two castles on top of the D. Let's see who takes it.
Another short corner.
Great defense there from the Kenya. Another short corner just means another chance to defend.
Umpire just showing that there was a foot foul.
Will the Egyptians change their tactic, or will they keep the same strategy for the short corner?
Definitely make a break moment for both of these teams here.
The crowd on the edge of their seats.
Both teams just eagerly awaiting. Beautiful save there by the goalkeeper. Double save there by the goalkeeper. Definitely on his toes. The umpire just stops time quickly.
I think the padding of the goalkeeper has moved off. But that was a great save. I think Kenya is definitely hungry to get to the World Cup. The goalkeeper is working overtime. Let's just see where the ball hit him, because I think it hit him on the arm.
Yeah. First the pad.
First the arm, then the pad.
Oh, yeah.
Aha. Great defending from the Kenyans. But a great flick as well.
Yeah, beautiful flick. Definitely they counted on that rebound and took another shot, and from a short corner that's definitely what you want to get.
It was a retake, if I'm not mistaken. And just like we said, it's just another chance for for Kenya to be able to defend that for their team. A little scrabble there in the Egyptian half. I think the nerves are all over the place now. Lots of mistakes being committed by both sides.
Yeah.
But then again, it's understandable because the pressure is on.
Yeah, they both know what's at stake. They all want to qualify.
Overhead again from Kenya. Not giving up with the overhead.
Now we see Kenya putting Egypt in a massive amount of pressure there. But Egypt manages just to swivel his way through that through the Kenyan strikers.
I think we have another card. Kenya there attacking. Can they do something now? One-handed attack.
Easily stolen there by the Egyptian defender. Now with the 1-2s. Egypt on the counter-attack.
Ball just going over the line, slightly over the line. Good eye from the umpire.
Kenya now restarting the ball from the back. Beautiful slap there, unfortunately. Just out of the court.
By the way both teams are playing, it would be nice to see them going to a showdown. Because it would be very unfair to call the winner now. Because both teams are doing so well in terms of their attacks and as their defense as well.
Definitely. Both teams have now really brought their A game. So there we have it. Kenya ball there.
Long ball.
Now we have Egypt just now from the back, resetting.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats, biting their nails. It's quiet in the arena at the moment.
Egypt just scanning, looking for the loopholes. And they find it. Unfortunately, the Kenyan defense, but
Great recovery.
they still recover the ball. Kenya still with the defense now on the counter attack.
Nirman with the ball. Can we see something from the Kenyans again?
Possibly. With the way they're playing right now in this final quarter.
Another overhead for the Kenyans, one of the few that actually worked. We have a card for Odero Paul.
From Kenya.
Kenya.
Beautiful interception there by number 6 of Kenya. Kenya still with ball possession currently.
The Kenyan spectators starting to cheer now.
Beautifully read there by the
Egyptian defense. That was a great idea.
yeah, it was a beautiful pass. Good skill there by number.
Short corner for Kenya. Kenya not holding back, attacking and chipping at the eyes of the Egyptians, trying to make it through to see how far they can go with the. A short corner for Kenya. Let's see who has it on top of the D. How many castles do we see? We see 1, 2. The Egyptians ready to keep their team in the game.
Can Kenya capitalize? Oh, and unfortunately just a bit too wide. And the Egyptians waste no time as they are now on the counter attack.
Just like that, a 3D and it's a goal from the Egyptians.
What a goal, ladies and gentlemen. As we said, the Egyptians waste no time when it comes to them setting up and trying to get those counter attacks. Those boys are fast and they will most definitely score if the opponent team is asleep.
Kasem Abdelrahman celebrating there with that great goal from him. 3D skills and then a tap in into the box between the goalkeeper's legs.
Beautifully composed.
Hegab Mohad, sorry.
A beautiful goal there by the Egyptians. A beautiful display of teamwork.
I think that's a great goal worth celebrating.
It is.
But nonetheless, the Kenyans are still in the game. There's still 9 minutes to go before the final whistle. And just like that, the
Another
Kenyans
short corner.
they've just been rewarded another short corner. Will this be the one that brings them back in the game? Can they do something with it? It's quite intense here at the Devon Astro Hockey Field.
I feel like there's a lot of frustration now from the Egyptian players. Not quite understanding why. the short corner was awarded. But yet again,
With 9 minutes to go, there's still a lot at stake here.
definitely.
It's still anyone's game. Kenya is still in the game.
Can they equalize? Beautiful save there by the
Did the umpire
And-
call another stroke?
umpire called another penalty stroke.
But that wasn't too clear. Let's see with the
Hopefully we can
see with
get
the
a replay and Kenya now with an opportunity to equalize. We apologize for the there we have our replay.
It hit him on the arm.
Beautiful. That was a really good call there by the
Umpires.
umpire. Beautifully
Just like
placed
that.
in again by the Kenyan captain. Very calm and composed player.
The Kenyans are back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. They are still fighting. They refuse to lay down.
The crowd is going wild. I'm telling you, Robin, I am getting chills right here.
Ashihundu Charles with that powerful P flick into the bottom right corner of that goal post. Goalkeeper chose the wrong side, but it was a brilliant flick.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, both teams are fighting tooth and nail so that they can get that third place slot to qualify. I honestly, I feel like this is the most exciting hockey I've watched in a while. We saw that the game was a bit slow, but now the tempo has increased. Stakes are high.
And what started out as a single-sided fight, when it looked like Egypt was dominating the whole game,
Yeah.
the Kenyans didn't stop. They
They're-
kept fighting, and they're still running. They're
Now,
still running with the counter-attack by Egypt. Egypt is entering the circle now. Unfortunately, just loses the ball off the baseline.
yeah, the Kenyan defender just hounding that Egyptian player, not giving the Egyptian player any time or space to make a move.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Junior Africa Cup with a lots of intense plays being shown and displayed by both countries here. Egypt 2, Kenya 2. My name is Robin Kambinda, and I'm joined by
Watapi Virore, and we are here live on NBC2 and NBC Sports. Please do not leave your seats as we just have 7 minutes left of this game. Still any man's game. As you can see, we are still having a tie.
the crowd just quieting down there. I think that the intensity has reached the spectators as well. I think they are all biting their nails.
Beautiful steal there by number 10 of Kenya as he swiftly runs into the 23. Oh, good skill.
Long corner there for Kenya.
Good defense also there by the Egyptian player.
The Kenyans showing that they are not afraid. The Kenyans showing their Maasai fighting spirit.
The game has definitely taken a turn for the better.
Great control and balance from the Kenyan captain, staying on his feet.
The umpire, they're just issuing a card. Not sure to what player though. Kenyan there with the ball.
What started out as both teams holding back has become a game full of counterattacks. Turnover after turnover,
Yeah,
but still intense with each turnover.
just a tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Kenya there looking for a circle entry.
Umpire says play whistle, keep playing, no advantage.
Beautifully cleared there by the okay, there we have confirmation. The green card was given to Basil of Egypt.
Abdelmonem Basel.
So, Egypt is a player down. Kenya can really use this opportunity.
Egypt has had quite a few cards so far.
Yeah, they have.
And I think that the pressure is getting to them.
Yeah.
Free hit for Kenya. The game intensity has picked up so much. There isn't too much time to pass the ball around at the back.
Yeah. As both teams are now really pressing very, very high.
At this point, they have nothing to lose besides winning a spot to the World Cup.
Beautiful skill there. Unfortunately, the ball just a bit too fast for him.
There we go, the stats. Egypt, 10 shots, 5 for Kenya. 22 circle penetrations for Egypt with only 5 for Kenya. 55% possession for Kenya, for Egypt, and 45 for Kenya. 6 penalty corners for Egypt and only 3 for Kenya.
Yeah.
But like I said, the numbers don't lie. It looks like a very close matched game, but unfortunately for the Kenyans, the Egyptians are passing the ball much more compared to themselves.
Kenya still knocking on Egypt's door. Kenya definitely trying to get a goal there.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Egypt still defending very tightly.
Steal there by 23 of Kenya. Can something come of it?
Wesonga with the 3D skills. Umpire says play on.
Well composed there. Good composure there by number 22 of Egypt.
Abdul Trika.
Umpire just telling the player.
Less than 3 minutes to go. And the intensity is still very high. Both teams attacking, pressing very high. And it's 10 over after 10 over.
We have the Egyptian captain there. Kalim just starting the ball for the Egyptians.
He's shown so much composure and control for his team today.
Yeah.
I think he stepped up.
Beautiful ball there.
We are still very, very close, ladies and gentlemen, with only less than 3 minutes to go.
Still very much any man's game. Beautiful overhead there. Landing. I feel like now the overheads of the Kenyans are starting to connect also.
Great run there from the Kenyans. Can they do something there? Oh, dangerous ball. But umpire says play on.
Egypt now with the ball. Trying to look for those empty little pockets.
Less than 2 minutes to go in this playoff game. 3rd and 4th place, with the third place making it to the World Cup in India in December. Egypt versus Kenya, 2-2. Can this game end with another goal scored by either one of the team, or will we go to playoff? I think that will be left to be seen in the next 1 minute 30 seconds. Our coach usually says you can score 2 goals in 2 minutes. Can they score 1 in this 1 minute and close the game off without having to go to showdowns?
The best chance that either of these teams have is definitely to get a short corner.
Egypt just defending. They're on the attack now. They're on the attack now. Interception from Otimo of Kenya. Another turnover for Kenya.
Unfortunately, just a bit too wide for the player's stick there. Egypt desperately trying to get out of their 23.
Less than 40 seconds to go. Can Kenya do something in the Egyptians' half? Will the Maasai Warriors score another goal? They're trying to. Can they do something here?
Oh, unfortunately. So 16. These are the final moments, ladies and gentlemen, with just under 20 seconds left of this game. Egypt is gonna definitely want to get out of their half.
10 seconds to go.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of this match. Unfortunately, it is a draw, and both of these teams now have to go to showdowns. It is
What a close second half.
very.
It went from 1-0 to 2-2, right? Very quick. Now they need to decide. Unfortunately for both teams, we need a winner. No one can go home without knowing who the winner was here.
Yeah.
The score is 2-2. The teams are just leaving the field to prepare for the showdowns. The first shot corner that Egypt got in the opening seconds of the third quarter. Great drag there. Great save from the goalkeeper, twice.
Beautiful skill there by the Egyptians. Good balance.
Taking down 3 players. We're a bit wide. So many opportunities that we had in this game. I thought the goals, that was a brilliant goal.
Yeah.
Great handling from the Egyptian. I think that was the moment we thought
Yeah,
Egypt sealed
had it in the
victory.
bag.
But the Kenyans did not relent.
And I feel like that was also a really good call by the umpire. I don't think a lot of people really saw that the ball did touch the body of the player, and it was a really good call there by the the umpire, granting the
Kenyans, a P flick.
and gaining them the equalizing goal.
It's a very difficult ball to try and play off. If it hits your arm, this ball is quite painful. Great job from the Egyptian defender to try and pretend like
Yeah,
it didn't touch
it didn't
him on the
happen.
arm.
Like, what happened?
Yes. But good eye from the umpire. Very seriously good umpire. We had to watch a replay to spot it.
Yeah, at this level, that's the kind of umpiring that we need.
Let's look at the statistics. It's full time now. Egypt 2, Kenya 2. We had 10 shots from the Egyptians versus 5 from the Kenyans. 22 circle penetrations, which should have given them more goals.
Yeah.
Compared to 6 of the Kenyans. 55% ball possession by the Egyptian. 6 penalty corners by the Egyptians. But unfortunately, I don't think any of the 2 teams scored short corners.
Yeah.
I'm speaking under correction. Nonetheless, 3 green cards for Egypt and 1 green card for Kenya.
I feel like the circle penetration just goes to show that Kenya was a bit more clinical with the opportunities they had. You know, they have only 5 shots on target, and they got like two from those. And the penalty corners, they got both of them. They gained P flicks from those ones. So really good play there from the Kenyan players. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, you are watching the Junior Africa Cup playoff for 3rd and 4th place between Egypt and Kenya. If you just join us, it's a tight game, and we're about to go to a decider, which we call in hockey a showdown. If you just joined us, we need to go into a decider now. Umpires going towards 1 goal post. That will be the goal post that will be where the players take part in the showdowns. We have Egypt versus Kenya, and now they need to decide among themselves which of the 5 of the players they trust in taking this task. They will have about 8 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, to take the shot. And if they don't, the horn will go off. That will mean the next team should take
Yeah.
their chance or their turn. Who do you think has it based off the skill and handling that we've seen in this game?
Well, both of these teams have incredible skill, and both of these teams have really good goalkeepers. So it's truly, as we said throughout this whole game, the theme of the whole game was really, it is any man's game. We'll just let these penalty shootouts be the deciding factor. But good teams, like, good luck to both of these teams, and good luck to the goalkeepers especially, because this is really
Yes, but I agree with you. I agree with you. Both teams have so much to be proud for. It's not easy to get to this part of the game, especially to get to a playoff. It takes a lot of preparation and determination to get there, and both teams have to be proud of themselves regardless of the outcome of this game. We just want to see if the officials are ready and if the strikers are ready, and then we will go.
By the look of things, Egypt will be taking the first penalty shootout. It will be taken by Saeed Kamal of Egypt.
So they have 5 shots to take, and they have about 8 seconds before the timer runs out.
Umpires are ready. There we go.
Can the goalkeeper stay on his feet?
What a beautiful, clean.
That was a good flick. The goalkeeper also stayed on his feet, but it was a great early shot from the captain there.
The captain definitely leading by example there, opening the way for his team.
Unlucky for the goalkeeper, just went down the last second.
Now it is Kenya's turn. We have the Kenyan captain taking our first penalty shootout.
Ashihundu Charles, number 25. Let's go. 8 seconds on the clock. Officials ready.
There we go.
Great attack and great patience by the Kenyan captain. He kept his composure and he waited for daylight to just throw that ball into the back of the box.
I think that's a common quality that these Kenyan players possess. All of them are very composed, very swift and accurate in their decision making.
It's 1-1 in the showdowns, and now it's Egypt. Hassanin Mohammed. Let's see, can he do it for his country? Great
Beautiful.
goal and composure from the Egyptian forward there.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper just went down a bit too soon.
Yeah. So as we have it right now, ladies and gentlemen, Egypt 2, Kenya 1, as we await for Kenya to take their second penalty shootout.
After these showdowns, ladies and gentlemen, we will know who cements the 3rd place to the Junior World Cup in India. Let's see now for Kenya, who's taking this one. Very quick off the start. On his feet, goalkeeper down, save. Oh, unfortunately for the goalkeeper, the back stick just came in the moment that he was about to get up. Great attack there from the Kenyans.
Beautiful. A good save there by the goalkeeper. Unfortunately.
The second shot was a goal. Great save there. Also good for Omwaka Matthias for keeping his composure and for keeping track of the time there. Let's see who's up for Egypt. Hosni Mohammed. Hosni Mohammed.
Can he follow in the footsteps of his fellow teammates and
We thought the game was close, but the shootout seemed to be just as close. There we go. Let's see what he does. Goalkeeper ready.
Beautiful. I feel like the common goal for all these players is to get the goalkeeper on the ground.
Yes.
Because they know from that they have a bit more time than the goalkeeper to make a move.
I think the Kenyan goalkeeper should just step off the line to meet him halfway.
Yeah,
at least at the key
definitely.
spot. He's turning too much into his box.
Yeah.
Creates the bigger space for the flicker.
Now it's Kenya's turn to take the third penalty shootout, number
Off the
17.
Let's see. Will he do it for his country? Great save, and time just ran out there. The score is currently 3-2 in favor of Egypt in these showdowns.
It's an unfortunate.
I think it's just poor ball control there.
The keeper was keeping him under a lot of pressure. As you can see there, the Egyptian coach just hanging on to dear life.
It's understandably so. The intensity is so high. I think if they score this one, then they are very close to winning.
Yeah.
Can the goalkeeper do something for his country and keep his country in the game? Let's see. Great composure. Save from the... But buzzer went off just as the ball was lifting off the ground. Does it count? It counts.
Yes, it counts.
It counts. Very close. It's the last chance for Kenya now. Kenya's last chance to stay in the game. If they miss this one, then it's official, ladies and gentlemen. Egypt will be going to the World Cup in India in December of 2025. So much pressure for the Kenyans now.
A lot of pressure.
Number 6, Azeze. Pressure on him now. With E. Osama in the box. Can Azeze do it? Let's see now. Just great saving. Good work from the goalkeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, Egypt have qualified for the Junior World Cup, which will be held in India in December of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, after a very intense game between Egypt and Kenya, Egypt has emerged victorious. The Pharaohs have won this game to secure their place to the Junior World Cup in India in December. They've secured 3rd place. Unfortunately for Kenya, they have to be happy with 4th place. They did such a good job to keep their team in the game, but it wasn't enough to get them quite there.
Definitely a tremendous moment here for the Egyptians. They fought tooth and nail to stay in this matchup, and they ended up qualifying. They definitely had a lot to prove, as they were the ones who won the last tournament here, as Robin said, in 2015. So it was very vital for them to win. So yeah, but obviously Kenya also didn't let Egypt win without a fight. They brought the fight to Egypt. Yeah.
So many emotions on the field right now. Up emotions, low emotions. Everyone has a reason to celebrate. Everyone has a reason to be sad. But it was a good fought match between Kenya and Egypt.
Yeah.
I think both countries should be proud for reaching the shootout. I think better preparation definitely determined who the winner of this game was going to be.
Yeah, there we have the highlights of the shootout, which were the determining factors as to who
The winner was.
definitely some beautiful plays there by the Egyptian players and some good
Good chances taken by the Kenyans. But the Egyptian captain was, Egyptian goalkeeper was,
he
did a
was
good
really,
job.
yeah, definitely.
I think he made one save compared to the Kenyan goalkeeper. Great composure there from the Kenyans. Good. Not giving up to take up the back stick. The Kenyans were just as hungry as the Egyptians.
They really were. They fought tooth and nail for this. Unfortunately, the Egyptians were just a bit better than them when it came to this, or a bit luckier, because it's all fair play here.
But I don't think luck has too much to do with it. I think Egypt just prepared for showdowns, because most countries don't, most teams actually don't prepare or train for showdowns.
Yeah, they really don't.
So they leave it up to the keeper. So I would say the Egyptian keeper definitely did a good job
Yeah,
to
outstanding.
keep his team.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us so far through this intense game. We have a lot more coming up for you. The finals are coming up next.